Yes, we are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As you come on, please feel free to interact with us. We are just as excited as you are, okay, to have our good guests today. Beg your pardon.
Absolutely.
Okay, with you today are Chidi Akuna and my dear husband.
Victor.
All right. So if you're watching this, you might be on our YouTube channel, Foundation for Family Affairs. And our mission of Family Affairs, Foundation for Family Affairs is simple: to connect hearts and strengthen families. So we make it a duty to raise healthy families.
Absolutely.
Okay. And what we'll be talking about today is an offshoot of raising healthy families. You want to throw some light?
Yeah, well, one of the key things, our main aim today is to talk to people who have been struggling and working hard. You know, one thing we found out is that working hard is not enough. You need to be able to work smart. So some people are working hard their jobs, people from BIM and background, they're doing lots of things. But unfortunately, they're not getting ahead as much as they need to get ahead. So we brought an expert that will be able to talk to us around their career. What are the little things that we do that undersell ourselves as men and as women? What can we do to advance our careers? What can we do when we come back from maternity? How do we introduce ourselves back to the workforce to be able to hit our career goals and our career aspirations?
Okay, so we put something out on our Instagram today, and we said, do your best to choose the work you love or love the work you do. And in saying that, we're like, love is a beautiful thing. It doesn't just play a role in the family. Okay, it also plays a role in what we do as individuals.
Absolutely.
If we do not enjoy what we do, then the ripple effect would have an impact on the family.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll be talking about some of the things we're talking about today, work-life balance. So we will bring our guest on now, and she will be sharing a lot with us. All right. Yay. Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself? How are you, Victor and Chidi?
Very well.
Well, very well. Thank you.
And thank you for coming on to do this. I mean, we watch you, we see how relentless you are.
Absolutely.
Really consistent about pushing things out. But for me, I think what I find more attractive is the heart with which you do it. Because as we read through your messages, there's that undertone of love, desire to see people be better versions of themselves. And that really caught our attention. So thank you for coming on today. If you don't mind, would you tell us a bit about what you do?
Absolutely.
Of course. Thank you again for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And I also want to take a moment to say thank you for all the great work that you do, both of you. You are changing lives. And I think that it is very impressive to know that you take so much time out of your own busy lives and schedule to help so many people change their own lives. So I'm so excited to be connected with you and to be here on your show today. So just a little bit about myself. I think this program is tailored to helping people, especially women, who have been out of work to return back to work. So I will start my introduction by calling myself mom first. So I'm a mom. So if you happen to be in a category of people who are struggling to return to work or trying to bounce back to work, so first know that I'm a mom first. I'm a mom to two fantastic young men at age 16 and 14. And I'm also a wife to my amazing husband. We've been married for 17 years. I'm a career mom. I do work in human resources, and I truly enjoy the people aspect of work that I do. So in my personal space, I do serve as a career coach, and I help people just like yourself watching to find jobs, change jobs, return to work, and find progression on their career journey, and just generally to be the best they can be in their life and in their career. So that is what I stand for.
Fantastic. Fantastic. If I'm to ask you, what do you enjoy most about what you do in this regard?
Yeah, I think generally what I truly enjoy the most is seeing people really transform their lives. I know that when people come to me, the majority of people really come confused. And
Yeah.
I love the transition that I see in the next maybe 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, because I do work with timelines and I try to break those timelines down so we can simplify the process of change. So we set very tiny goals. So I'll call like them easy bite, like little chunks to bite goal, and we approach those goals in a very effective way rather than rush everything. So we set simple specific goals, we make it time bound, and we work on those goals. And I really enjoy the most the transition that I see in people's lives.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, no, I was just going to say, it's been an interesting period. I mean, from last year through early parts of this year, and there are people who might be sitting there wondering, okay, I'll give an example. I had there were people who mid last year were followed. And then towards I think about October, they were told, oh, sorry, the follow scheme will be stopping. So we would have to lay you off, unfortunately, because the company won't be able to cope with that. And in the space of few days, the follow scheme returned. Right, but these people had been made redundant at the time. Okay, so we have some of them sitting back, and yes, they made applications. They've tried to get back in the game, bearing in mind that they've been a while in their career. Okay, so it's like it's difficult to get something. In a case like that, what would you say to people like that? Someone sitting down wondering, how can I get back? It's not.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good question. And I totally understand and can relate to this question that you've just asked. The past year was very challenging for all of us with the lockdown, with the pandemic, and the effect of this was very enormous. And for everyone who's been in that situation, you're not alone. And one of the ways that I teach is that I teach from my own experience and journey professionally, and also with my life as well. So when you talk of redundancy at this very stage, I was affected as well. And it's a journey that I shared very openly online. And I also started sharing strategies that would help people to return back to work. If you've been caught unawares, it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'll start with that. In my own case, let me share a little bit of background there. So my organization was restructuring, and there was an option to opt into redundancy. And based on some of the perks that was coming with that offer, I decided to opt in. So the other option was for me to go into another area of business. However, because people has always been my thing, I decided not to take that offer. So let's just say I was made redundant. So that's the case. So for anyone who's been made redundant, it's a good time to be in the job market. I'll tell you why. Based on what research is saying and what experts are saying, including myself, who sits in human resources, the market is very buoyant now when it comes to opportunities. So I think one of the best ways to address going back to work right now is to understand, number one, I'll share 5 things to do. Okay, number one is clarity. What is it that you want on your career journey in this particular point in time? If you're someone like me, I'm a very proactive professional. And what that means is that I'm 10 steps ahead on my journey, whether life journey, family journey, money journey, career journey. I'm very proactive. Okay. So at the start of this year, I knew exactly what I wanted on my career journey this year. So if you check my profile, you wouldn't even know that I was made redundant. It felt like I changed jobs. Okay. So if you don't know what you want for your career journey, first thing to start with is, what is it that you want? Clarity, number one. Okay. So number two, once you're clear about exactly what it is that you want on your career journey, even though you've been made redundant, do you want to return to work now? Or do you want to go back to college? Or do you want to change career path? Or do you think you should take a break now from working? So that's clarity. What is it that you want? Is understand to know that. So number two, after you understand what you know, you have to be courageous. Being courageous means showing up for what you want. You have to be able to pursue it. You have to be able to work strategies that will enable you to achieve that goal. You have to be able to show up. You have to be able to get up even when you get that second rejection letter, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. Your confidence may be knocked down, but you have to be courageous enough to stand up. So number three is confidence. The reason why I wanted to touch on confidence is that, you see, when you've been hit in the face time and time again, you are likely to lose your confidence. Don't. So be confident in your goals, be confident in exactly what it is that you want. And that's why clarity starts first, okay? So number four is community. Community. If you want something, okay, you have to be in the midst of people who want exactly what you want. Sometimes we can achieve some of our goals by ourselves. So find people like you, or find people who have gone ahead of you, or find people who are sitting in a place where you want to be. Connect with them. Let them show you how. Let them show you exactly what they did. Let them show you exactly how they got to where they are right now. That is the power of community, okay? And number five, I would strongly recommend coaching. You know, sometimes I will link clarity and coaching together, okay? You guys are all about helping families to be strong, to be firm, you know, to be stable. What you're doing really is changing lives through coaching. That's the power of coaching. What I say to people, if you want to get ahead really fast, look for someone who knows what they are doing. Let them show you. Sometimes we're even confused on our career journey. But when you speak to a coach who knows exactly who have been there or who have done that, they help you to streamline your broad goals. Some of us come back to say, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that and that and that. However, a coach would help you streamline that goal, help you find clarity, help you build confidence, put you in a community of people that can help you to achieve your goal, and help you to be courageous to show up for your dream. So that is what I would truly recommend, those 5 things.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I like the fact that they're all skills, so easy to remember. Fantastic. Clarity, courage, confidence, community, and coaching. Coaching ties up all this together. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a thought that just came to my mind while more like a scenario. So in a situation whereby, sometimes some women step aside from career in order to raise children, first to give birth and to raise children. But we know that we are in a, someone said some time ago that before someone can be in one career for 60 years, for 40 years. But these days, people can change careers many times over. It means that the rules of the past are different from the rules of today. Things are really moving really fast. And so a lot of adjustments, things are really dynamic. So in a situation whereby a lady is stepping aside to raise a family, and sometimes a man is stepping aside to be the person, to be the house husband, to do that, by the time they be coming back into the career, some things will have moved on. Some people may become rusty. So what advice will you give in 2 ways? First, what they need to do before they step aside, and 2, what they need to do when they are ready to step back in. So it's a two-way question.
And both things are very important for you to be able to come back to a thriving career, to be able to and what you're worth, to be able to sit in the position that is right for your skills and experience. Like I said from the start, I teach sharing my journey or my story. If you're looking for someone who's taking a career break, that person is me. Okay. For about 5 years, I took some time corporate career to be mom. And at the time, my husband was living in a different continent altogether. So I decided career break was it for me. And it was initially very challenging because a lot of times when we've been in positions whereby we can call the shot and we've decided to take a career break, it can be tough on us mentally, it can be tough on us financially to some people, it can be tough in so many ramifications. However, there's always ways to go about this things, okay? So like I said, I took some time off and I decided I wanted to do my thing. That was when I launched online. I started creating content. I didn't actually know that there was a world different from what I knew, which was corporate career. But I did something entirely different. And it helped me when I eventually returned to work. So I'll share the first one. The first one, before you step aside, here's something you should do, okay? One, I would say your network is really very important. Your network is really very important because your network can carry you through life, okay? Yes, it can carry you through life. Number one, the workplace you're in before you step aside to take that career break is very important to have solid relationship within that workplace, starting with your manager first. And I'll give you an example why it's important to have that relationship, especially within your workplace. Like I said, I just started a brand new job and it's a different dynamic for me. Who helped me to make this decision? My previous manager. My previous manager. I had 5 offers with amazing organizations. And here I was thinking I could just go with any. But I had to look at my manager and I asked a couple of strategic questions, if I can put it that way. I said, so what do you think of me? And what do you think is my greatest strength? And she broke it down. It was almost like she was sharing myself with me. She's my manager. She knows me enough. So your network will carry you through life. Before you go on maternity, don't get too excited to go. Excited, of course, you're having a baby, your family is growing. That's really great news. However, don't sleep on your network. Your network will carry you through life. You know, I've seen people before who left the workplace and when they were ready to return, all they needed to do is to send an email to say, listen, I'm returning back to work, but I don't want to be in that senior position, a junior position anymore. At this stage, I should be in mid-level. Networking, it will carry you. So make sure that your network is intact, okay? And while you're gone, enjoy the moment, but stay connected. What is happening in the marketplace? What is happening within the same organization? Are there openings there in that organization? So the magic really is network. The network, and secondly, relationship building. You can never go through life without concrete or solid relationship, and especially in your career. Okay, if I have a body, say let's just say Victor and I, we're in the same organization, and there's something happening within the business. If I have a solid relationship with you, you could pick up a phone and ring me to say, MJ, man, this is what's happening within your organization. Here's what you do. Okay, that relationship will carry me, and from the information you give to me, I can basically ring my manager to say that, yeah, I think that there's an opening for senior position. By law, even though you're on maternity, you're still eligible for promotion to apply for jobs while you're gone by law. Nobody really should say because you're on maternity, you can't get promoted or you can apply for a position. In fact, you can interview for opportunities while you're gone, whether you're looking for progression. So networking and relationship will carry you as well. Okay. yeah, enjoy the moment while you have been mom, while you're doing maternity, but also take a moment to explore yourself. By the time you finish maternity, do you want to go back to this job? Or do you want to go back to something? Do you want to change career path? Do you want to go to something totally different? So you have to also explore yourself. It will help you on your journey. Okay, it will help you. So that's the first part of that question. So the second part of that question, would you mind asking me again, please?
Yeah. So how do you return?
Aha. How do you return? Well, so like I said, I think I dabbled into that a little bit. Sometimes we aren't gone to some jobs just because we need to work. And sometimes when we take a career break to enjoy the moment with our newborn, sometimes we realize that maybe I don't want to go back to that job anymore. Okay. And that was why I dabbled into that. Explore yourself and explore your thoughts. Okay. Use the power of meditation, praying, journaling. Think of what is it that you truly want going forward. Okay. And also think of what is important to you at this stage. You know, sometimes when you have a baby, your priorities change. So the key word there is priority. What is it that you want going forward? Do you want to work in an organization that will stretch you? So you have to come in at 9 o'clock in the morning and you're still there at 6:30 in the evening. Because our jobs can stretch us sometimes. Priorities. What is it that is important to you? That should actually come into play when you are making the decision on what next to do for your journey. Okay. So, and this is where, and I love the work world in this time and age. Relationship and networking will carry you. Things have changed. So I was reading an executive profile of a fantastic lady in a very massive organization. And what really helped them was that they had to go back to work. After understanding their priority, they weighed what was important and they went back to their own leader to say, listen, I think I'm going to go part-time right now. So it's important to understand your priority and understand what it is that you want, and then design a plan that will help you live a balanced life, career and family. So none of the areas would suffer. Okay. Your career is important, but your family is more important. In fact, I always say if the home front is grand, that's very Irish grand. If the home front is good, the work front will be great. So understand your priority and know what is important for you and know exactly what would work for your life when you return to work. So what is important to you is the question I would ask all our viewers right now.
Fantastic. What is important to you? There's something that amongst many great things that you said, one of the things that stood out for me was sometimes your priority may have changed. You know, you will have gone, most of the when people go away, they have time to reflect, their priorities shift. Now they want to, you know, they begin to have a new interest, a new line of interest that they want to explore. So, you know, we mustn't be transfixed and we must be proactive about these things. Fantastic.
Would it make any remarkable difference if the person has been away for so long?
I think it's even more difficult if you've been away for so long. It's always very hard to number one, change is very hard. And for you to experience change, your mindset has to be receptive of that change. Your mindset has to open to explore that change. So if you've been gone for too long, it's not a problem at all. I'll go back to the very first things I shared. Number one, going back, what is it that you want going forward? So clarity is very important. What is it that you want? So if you were in a job that you didn't like before leaving, what is it that you truly want right now? Look within yourself and check your strengths. It helps a lot. All of us have something called the USP, the unique selling proposition. I shared with you before. When I took that break, I started exploring different things. I found myself in the world of online content creation, digital marketing. I started creating global content for global brands. This was something that I've really mastered. It helped me in my communication skill. It helped me in my relationship building. It helped me in so many ways that I could never have thought about. While from the comfort of my home, I was managing hundreds and thousands of euro for different brands and from different parts of the world. So that became my own unique selling proposition. So while you are gone, the question is, while you are gone, what were you doing while you were gone? Okay, you've been gone for so long. Did you take any courses? Did you launch your own little online product, which a lot of women do? They say, I'm selling organic oil, coconut oil, I'm making hair at home. Those things you were doing, what did you learn from them? There are skills that you can transfer going forward, depending on the journey you want to embark on right now going forward. So those things would help you to reconnect back to the workplace. So secondly, positioning is very important. Positioning means when people search you, what comes to mind? Okay, when people search me online now, what I want people to really perceive of me is that I help people with their career. Does that make sense? So so when you're rejoining, when people think of you, what would they really think about? And that's why positioning is important. Positioning means that your LinkedIn, your CV is demonstrating what you can offer, your unique selling proposition or unique selling point. So when positioning is very important. When people think about you, what do they think? Would they think of you as a marketer? Or would they think of you as a customer service advisor? Or would they think of you as a communication expert? Positioning is very, very, very important. Okay. So number 3, I think I wrote it points down here. Be shameless in selling yourself. Be shameless in selling yourself. You know, we happen to find ourselves in a culture of shaming people. You know, it's very usual in different communities. You see that when people have fancy titles, big titles, they tend to be respected. They tend to be honored. They tend to, be carried, be celebrated. However, whether you're the CEO or the stay-at-home mom just reconnecting to the workplace, be shameless in showing up for yourself. Okay? Shameless in sharing your story. That's exactly what I do. You know, it's not always easy to share online all these challenges. But the reason why I share is not to edify myself. The reason why I share is to help one more woman return to work. Help. And amazingly, we've been able to help tens of women to reconnect back to work and thriving on their career, finding their voices, because I've been on that journey. Why do I have to keep it to myself? So be shameless. I know a lot of people don't like to say they are unemployed. If you are not unemployed, you're unemployed. Why should you be shy about that? Put yourself out there, connect, build relationship, network with people who can help you in your journey. You know, an empty mouth doesn't get fed. It's okay to say, I'm unemployed, I'm looking for work. Does that make sense? It's very shameless, okay? And then don't sabotage yourself. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You know, I've seen so many women. I was chatting with a lady very, very, very recently, and they were working as some sort of support or assistant within an IT support area. And they told me that they suggested to the organization that they should change the outlook of a website to look similar to a different brand. And they led that project. They worked effectively on it. They delivered on the project. In fact, they got kudos for working on that project. And they felt shy to share that. Don't sabotage yourself. Everything you do is very important. And when I supported them on their journey, I redid their CV. That was the most important achievement I put on their CV. And they've been able to, they've gone back to work doing exactly what they described that they achieved, just supporting that. So don't sabotage yourself. So I will repeat that again. Be shameless in the story. Yeah, position yourself, have a unique selling proposition, and don't shoot yourself in the foot. Very important.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
I think shameless goes back to your point on having courage.
Yes.
The other thing. So you've got to be courageous to do this. Okay, stay in the game. You touched on sabotaging yourself when you were speaking. That was your last point. How do women sabotage themselves in the workplace? I know you said a little when you were speaking, but do you want to go deeper?
Of course. You see, sabotaging yourself really. As someone who has been a resourcing business partner before, I've screened hundreds of CVs on my journey before. So I've happened to have sat on tables where decisions are made before on who gets the job or not. I've sat in an advisory position before where I coach hiring managers on who to hire for the jobs. And when they're not sure, they speak with me because this is my expertise. And one of the things that I see is that a lot of people, you see, they wait to have all the skills match for match before they apply for a job. However, sabotaging yourself really means that if you think you can do it and you don't apply for it, that's sabotaging yourself. It's as simple as that. And I'll give you this analogy. So if you have 10 out of 10 of the skills they're looking for on a requisition, you are overqualified for the job.
Wow.
Yes, you are overqualified for the that simply means that you're sitting in a position, or you may be sitting in a position that you have outgrown. There's the tendency that you will not learn something new or challenging on the job. And there's a tendency that you'll get bored with time. And this will come with dissatisfaction on your journey. It will come with wanting to opt out even before you started. However, if you have up to like 7 out of 10 skills they are looking for the requisition, it's a good job to apply for. I'll tell you why. We all learn on the job. So it means that you have the opportunity to learn something new or something challenging on your new job or new journey. It means that you find it really exciting because you're still learning. Yeah. And then it means that you can really contribute, making mistakes, and even picking other people's brains as you go on that journey. Does that make sense? So that's simply sabotaging yourself. So also, you see, maybe you are probably a coordinator at the moment. You see a business partner position. Yeah, I'm using HR example now. And you don't think you are good enough for that job. What will it cost you if you applied and you don't get it? You know, it's not the end of your life, or it's not the end of the world. The worst that can happen is that you get it, no, not now. However, if you can quickly bridge the gap that you have on your skills and experience, you can put yourself forward. You see, as a professional, I like to see people who are hungry. And when I give advice to the hiring managers, I say, I see someone who is really driven in this person, even though they don't have all the experience and skills. The people who offer jobs, hiring managers, they are human. And they really want to see people who are driven, who are hungry, who are really, really, who have the desire to succeed. And sometimes they give them that chance. So don't sabotage yourself thinking you're not good enough or qualified. Put yourself forward. Well, if you fail, it's not the end of the world. At least you tried.
Fantastic. Fantastic. While you were saying that, some things came to my mind that sometimes some people know what to do, but they are not doing it. More like they've gotten to that point of inertia. They're like, maybe they're just procrastinating on it. So speak to those people who they know that they are supposed to be proactive. They know that they are supposed to put themselves out there, but they're not just doing what they need to do to move to the next phase of their lives.
Absolutely. And I think the way I would answer that is that you are the driver of your career. If you don't drive it, nobody will drive it for you. Nobody. And when I said I'm a very proactive professional, what I meant by that is this. In January of 2021, I decided this is where I want to be on my career journey. And I designed a plan that by the end of 2021, this is where I want to be. And somehow life itself led me to where I truly should be, even though I didn't realize it was going to be the route of redundancy, but I achieved it anyway. So you have to be the driver of your career. If you don't drive it, nobody will drive it for you. In fact, I'll tell you this. If you've always wanted promotion and you don't know what you want, there's no way your manager can help you. However, if you want something, progression, promotion, new opportunities within an organization, if you have a solid plan, a lot of times, 9 over 10, your managers would help you drive it. So you have to be the driver of your career. If the foil on your journey finishes, your manager can support you. They can help you top it up. So know what you want and go for it. If you don't do it, nobody will do it for you.
Fantastic. Yeah. So thank you for that. The next question I want you to have a look at is, what are the career benefits of building a personal brand? Because one key thing that I notice now that there's a lot of noise out there. By noise, I mean a lot of distraction. For example, where I lecture full time, and I noticed that building personal brand is also very important. I lecture in the university, I teach HR, but we notice that amongst all my colleagues, it's also good for you to have an area of human resources that people know you. So when they mention your name, they know Victor Akuna, this is the guy for this. So what is the benefit for those who don't know about the part of building a personal brand? What are the benefits of building a personal brand within your workplace?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I shared earlier on, you see, we all have unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
All of us do. You have to be known for something, because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So I'll give you an example. You want to be in a space whereby if they mention something within an organization, the first person they will think about is you. So it's as simple as, for example, maybe when new people join an organization, you are always the one being bodies to them, helping them learn the processes and systems, even though you're not a trainer, or you are the one who is kind of like, you help people feel good within the business, or if there's any issues, or if the manager is not around, you step in to take the management position, or to lead the team on that particular day. So it's just about standing for something, and that is your personal brand within the organization. When they think of someone who can coach other people within the business, they think straight, oh yeah, of you. You know what I mean? Someone gave me a remark one time like that. She said, this was when I returned to the workplace in 2018, when I returned to not a senior position, okay? Someone actually gave me a remark and said, you have an executive presence. What does that mean? It means that I actually can relate with anybody on any level. Whether you're a CEO, whether you're an executive, I'm there. I'm not only coming with career experience, I'm coming with real life experience like a full-blown woman. So your unique selling proposition, even if you are more advanced on your journey, age-wise, you're coming with real life experience. You are coming with maturity. You're coming with much more than experience and skills. You're coming with life. You can't buy life. So use what you have to your advantage. Be known as something within the organization.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, one key thing that I heard that you said, we have to be intentional about building that brand. It's about taking stock of what you are naturally good at and build that brand, build your brand around that. I like the word you use, your unique selling proposition, which means this is one thing that differentiates you from any other person.
Exactly.
And yes, this is something that differentiates you. So you are trying to differentiate yourself from being just a commodity. A commodity is, I remember an example someone said. He said that the name Coca-Cola is worth over, no, this was some years ago, 67 billion US dollars. Just the name Coca-Cola. So that's why companies do a lot to protect their name because they've invested a lot. So what does your name, the name TM Lewin is somebody's name, you know, Marks and Spencer is somebody's name. So what does your name, Victor Acuna, stand for within your company and then within your industry? Because this is one of the ways whereby some people, no matter what happens, they're always employed, they're always getting, because they build a brand that is bigger than their corporation. They build a brand that is well positioned within their industry. So that's a fantastic, really fantastic feedback.
Exactly. So be known for something, really. Be known for something. I've shared before online whereby one of the directors in our organization just reached out to me that, oh yeah, we would need you to facilitate a session in our Ignite Global Conference. Okay, I wasn't the only one in the organization, and I'm not that senior. You know, they know me as someone who has an executive position. I have effective communication skill. I have good people skills. So they offered it to me on a platter. So you have to stand for something, be known for something. Even if it's communication that is your strength, maximize it within the workplace. If it's coaching that is your strength, aside your day job, maximize it in the workplace. People will know you for that. And when those opportunities come up, they will think of you.
Fantastic.
Okay. Now we have cases where some people, not to be gender specific, but some people would say, but what about the whole discrimination at work, you know, and then we flag up terms like BAME, you know. So how would you address that for people who have such concern?
Well, I'm telling you, I think the world of work is really great right now. There's a lot of song around inclusion, diversity. The only people who will not thrive are the ones who are not buying into the song of inclusion and diversity in the workplace right now. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, black, gay, straight, anything at all, no matter where you identify as in the workplace right now. In fact, a lot of organizations have, LinkedIn, for example, has a genre categorizing women who have taken career break and are returning to work. So the people who would not really be the very best they can be in life or in their career are people who will not buy into the song of diversity and inclusion. There's a place for everybody, especially women and mom returning to work. There's a place for you. So you just have to exploit. You just have to open your mind and see what the world of work has to offer right now.
There was a time I was researching around because I was trying to, one of the ways I get the student I work with, masters or PhD or whatever, to get them engaged in what they are teaching is to help them see how what you are learning will position them by the time they are graduating. And so I stumbled on the research by, I think it's a World Economic Forum, where they were talking about the skills that people need for in 2020, in 2020, probably some years down the line. So my question to that is, how will you advise people in a career who are trying to make decisions, to how would they know the skills they need to learn to be strategic, to position themselves down the line? Because nobody knows. We never saw that the pandemic will happen last year, for example. So how can we position our, what skills do we need to acquire that, irrespective of what's happening, we'll still be able to use these skills?
Exactly. You know, within my organization now, I'll start with that. Whether you're doing corporate function or you're in engineering, you know, everybody has to take some technical course to enable you to be able to maneuver the world of technicality or the innovation evolved in the workplace right now. So to answer your question, some skills are just general.
Yes.
Yeah, some skills are just general. Leadership is a skill. You don't really have to sit in a position of leadership to be a leader. Someone who can lead themselves, who can drive their own journey, career, family, is a leader. Leadership And it's transferable,
Yes.
whether in the workplace, in the church, in the playground, in your
Yes.
children's school. Leadership is leadership. It's transferable. Communication is a skill. Everybody must be able to speak well, write well. Everybody must be able to do that. Relationship building is a skill that will take you everywhere and everywhere. We touched on that from the very start.
Yes.
Technical ability is a skill. You must be able to do some things. Learn basic skills technically. Know the MS Office package. It helps you in the journey, whether you're returning to work or whether you're connecting or whether, no matter where you are. Those are some of the skills that you can touch on. But to really enable you to be strategic on your career journey, I'll tell you what. One thing to do is to research your industry, okay? So for example, now, Victor is a lecturer. You lecture full-time. You know your industry, academic. I recently did a CV for a PhD candidate there in South Africa. And when they sent their CV to me, I say, you're an academic. Your CV does not reflect that. People in academic tell a lot of story. You do a lot of research. You belong to a lot of organized bodies. You have a lot of certifications. You have to know your industry. So I'll take, for example, if you're a marketer, marketing is so broad. And under the umbrella of marketing, there are a lot of different areas. So the area you are in, you have to understand that area like the back of your hand or like the second skin. And you level up your experience and skills to match the industry standard. That is how you can get ahead. That is why you can find opportunity. That is how you can level up on your journey, on your career. So the same thing with engineering. Under the umbrella of engineering, there's software engineering, there's network engineering, there's different kinds of engineering. In your own field of engineering, research the skills and experience that you need in those areas. Many times you don't really have to return to school, brick and mortar. You can take explore online learning to level up industry standard. You can shadow other people to gain those experience in the workplace. And that's why we come back to relationship and networking. If I need to acquire any new skill, the best person who can help me is to have that conversation with my manager to say, oh, for example, I need to acquire learning in maybe some skill in talent strategy. Let me talk in the world of HR now. The best person who can help me connect to the right people is my manager if I'm in the workplace. If I'm outside of the workplace and I'm not working, learning can help you level up. Secondly, volunteering can help you level up. Just something relevant to your field. I'm not talking about taking on just anything. Okay, so if you want to be IT support engineer, while it is important, it's okay to go and volunteer in a dog shelter. It won't help you gain that experience you're looking for. It's important. Know exactly what your industry standard is and look for ways to acquire those skills.
Fantastic. Volunteering is good, but we have to be strategic about volunteering. I like that. Don't just volunteer at home. No, they are calling me and they need me here. Yeah. Also think about your own career path. Where do you want to go? And what kind of things do you need to volunteer to get the necessary skill
and experience
to be able to get there. Thank you so much. You talked earlier on, you mentioned some key things about using the example of engineering. And so that brings us to the question of women who find themselves in a predominantly male working environment. What will you advise them to do to get their work respected? Because there's just this psychological thing that be like, oh, she can't lift this, oh, she can't do that. What can she do to get her job to be respected for her quality of the job, not just because of her femininity?
Of course, I think it's important to use your voice as a woman. Okay, we're in a boardroom. Two of us are there. Victor is there. Henry is there. John is there. Paul is there. Michael is there. And there is MJ. Okay, I should contribute as much as John, James, Peter, Henry. Contribute. Use your voice. You come up with the ideas as well, and you you lead projects as well. Don't let your gender be something that will restrict you. In fact, your gender should be an advantage. And then don't start playing the woman game as well. If you need to show up at 9, like Henry, James, John, and Peter. Okay, show up at 9. Don't start saying, Junior was sick, I had to go to the hospital. These things can happen. However, don't make it a lifestyle. All right. You come up with innovative ideas as well. Okay, just Peter, Henry, and all that. You be the one to blow the trumpet. So if you finished if you finish the project, you volunteer to present it to the wider team or to the leaders of the organization as well. It helps a lot to make your voice heard and known. And like I said, I'll still go back to the world of work is sweet right now. If you're a woman, you are in the best, you should have the best time of your life right now in the world of work. Because women, like I just read an article maybe yesterday, like 4 different banks in Nigeria just choose their maybe executive director. So even in countries that we don't consider very exposed or polished, or we call them level, you can see that they are coming up as well. They are recognizing that the woman has strength within organizations, and they are putting them in strategic positions because it's very important. Women can do as much as men can do.
Fantastic. Yes.
And respect your team members as well. I'm a woman, doesn't mean I should be a bully. Respect is very key. While you're trying to make your voice heard, do it respectfully. You know, big project, come up with innovative ideas. And when you respect people, they respect you back as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Don't play the woman game. Don't just I was saying this to a colleague who is fond of there are certain tasks that will be pushed to her, and she said, "Oh, you're not very young. I've not built the skill for that thing." And then I think one day a male colleague challenged her and said, "Oh, what's wrong with you? If I come with something else, you're going to tell me you're a woman." Okay, so you are in the workplace and you have something to contribute. And like you said, confidence, your third point when you started. You need to be confident to push your ideas out there because you matter. Yes, I like that.
It's better to fail at trying than not to try. I always say failure really is not trying at all.
Wow. Failure is really not trying at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. I like what you said about be the one to present. Because one thing I learned about, naturally, I'm a very shy and how would I call it, a laid-back person. But I learned a lesson when I was going to, some years ago, when I was going to run my own consulting firm. I told myself, I had a board meeting with myself. I said, this introvert thing is not going to help this career because you have to get out there and get opportunities, get clients, get contracts. So this personality, we have to find a way to ensure that it doesn't truncate what you're trying to achieve. And and I started developing capacity to speak, and I noticed that ability to speak in meetings, to present an idea, many people find it intimidating. But once I begin to step into this terrain, some certain people started noticing me. So I started getting some opportunities because there is something about stepping up and speaking that helps people see, wow, okay, I didn't know this guy can do this. They begin to have confidence. So that's good for women to take on that. Don't say, after you've done all the groundwork, I just like to be the background person. I don't like to be saying, or I'll take something and asking the person, what do you think? Yeah, it's good if you're getting feedback, but don't say it from the point of view of even you can see it all over the I don't believe in your ideas. Really
exactly.
Okay, sorry. What do you react to that?
Yeah, I think the connection is kind of breaking away there. But
when are you going to react to that?
Oh, you mean the question on the screen?
All right. I have a question on the screen for you.
Okay. I can't hear you anymore. Sorry.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit now. Hello.
Okay. All right. Do you want to take the question? We have a question here for you. Can you see it? It says,
yeah,
in relation to mentorship. Okay, go on.
I said in relation to mentorships and gender, would you say it's better for women to mentor women at work? I would say strongly it depends on really what you're trying to achieve. So, for example, if you are in an engineering team, I will use that as an example, and maybe John is very highly skilled, very talented in the area where you need to gain a little bit of mentorship. I would say let Henry mentor you to be the best you can be in that area. If on the other hand is Rosie that is very highly skilled in that area, I would strongly suggest to open yourself to the person who knows exactly what you're trying to learn, what goal you're trying to achieve, and let them mentor you in that area. That would be my best response to that. I think women mentoring women is a great idea, but there's no point in a woman mentoring you in a place, in an area they are not skilled at. Does that make sense? So if they are highly skilled in that area. So for example, if I'm looking to speak with someone who is really passionate or driven about family, marriage, I'll be looking to speak at Victor and Chidima. Okay. Yeah. I'll be looking to speak with both of you because you are highly skilled in that area. If I'm looking for someone who is highly skilled in mentoring young boys, I'll be looking to speaking with Bukola Jolubo.
Absolutely.
So it's always understanding who has the skills, the expertise in that area, and let them mentor you.
Fantastic.
So it's just like going to the doctor. My doctor is male. I have a male doctor and I have a female doctor. If I'm looking for anything in the line of family planning, I'm talking to my female doctor. Okay. If my knee is hurting, because I know my male doctor is very good in that area, I go to them. Just basically going to the person who has the skill or expertise in that area.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I have one more question before we run off, and then get you to talk to us about the resources that you have, how they can find you, and although we put some of those already, but we're going to be asking. Yeah, we're going to be asking. So one question that I'd like to ask is, what is the importance of having a sponsor at work? Not a mentor, but a sponsor that will be someone that will be, like you said, you've been in that place where you're advising, you're hiring manager. You've been in that platform where you are making hiring decisions. What's important of having someone like you, whatever career that people choose, as a sponsor?
I think it's very, more than ever before, it's very important to have someone who can, sponsorship really is advocating for you in the workplace. I shared an example of someone who reached out to me, a senior executive who said, MJ should speak at this event, an event where 700 people are attending. Okay.
Wow.
So sponsorship doesn't just come by, oh, they're my sponsor. You have to demonstrate that you are worthy to be sponsored. And that's where your personal brand comes in as well. People also want to know that you do good work. You have to demonstrate that you can do good work. You have to be someone who can be trusted. You operate with integrity. You're hardworking. You also contribute to the growth of maybe the department, to your team, to the organization. Stand in a position whereby you will be noticed as well as a quality candidate or as a quality employee who people go above and beyond for. So you have to play the part as well. So more than ever before, sponsorship in the organization is very important, because a lot of times you realize that some people are not as talented as us, they are not as highly skilled as us, they are not experienced as us, but they get the opportunity. That's the place of sponsorship. So you have to position yourself, align yourself with people who has a voice in the workplace, who do good work, then you do the good work as well. It helps a lot. to help you get noticed and to also get the opportunity to be sponsored as well.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions for you. And there's one on the screen right now. What happens if at work you have been paired up with a mentor who is not right fit, but you have been assigned as part of the process? What would you say to that?
Okay, one of the things, as I'll come in from an HR perspective right now, a lot of times in the workplace we won't get along with everybody, and that's the truth. It's human nature that sometimes things can happen. So I would definitely suggest to pull this person aside to have that conversation with them. Okay, and once you have the conversation with them, see what the dynamic is like. Is there any change going forward? If that's not the case, this is the time you speak to the maybe team leader, to the manager in charge, say, listen, Victor and I, for example, don't seem to be getting along well on this particular project. Okay? It's as simple as having the conversation as well. Don't get angry about it. Don't make it look like you're the difficult person. Just have the conversation with the person first, then trickle it up to your manager if that doesn't resolve it. Somehow, people in leadership position tend to know how to resolve these situations without taking sides or without making the other person feel like they are incompetent or maybe not the right fit for you. It's just about using your voice, having the conversation with the person first and to your manager.
Thank you for that. But then one last one. How do you get a sponsor at work?
Okay, I think that is important to maybe watch the video back. to watch the video back. It might help a little. Maybe at some stage I can write an article for family and family affairs foundation. Write an article to cover that so we can have an extensive answer to that, because this issue of sponsorship and mentorship in the workplace is very broad, and there's no one-way traffic. Getting the right sponsor for you.
Thank you so much.
So I'll connect you to create that article for you at some stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. It's just been an awesome time. And there's been a lot of reactions, people giving you the thumb. Thank you for your response. It's just been so candid.
Fantastic.
So would you like to tell us a bit about what you do? We have dropped your details, Moji's details are in the description box for anyone who wants to follow her on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. She's done a lot. Really phenomenal woman. But would you like to say a bit around that?
Yes. So generally, I think my calling has always been to help people be the best they can be. And on this particular stage in my life, how I do it is through the career channel to help people be the best they can be on their career journey. So, and one of the best ways that I do that is through content creation. I use content to tell stories, whether I'm talking about how to bounce back from redundancy, which I shared recently on my YouTube channel, and or whether I do a lot of that through writing articles as well. I do it through my coaching practice to generally help people to return to work, bounce back from taking career break, and generally to ensure that people are the best they can be in life and in career. And I also use the approach of what's it called now? The spirit, the body, and the soul. I think everything is kind of connected. One can't really thrive without the other. And that's the approach that I use in the people that I support. Of course, I do have a day job. I do work in human resources, and that experience and skill in the workplace helps me also to help the people that I support outside of the workplace. So really, that's what I do.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing time. I have learned a lot. I'm sure she has learned a lot as well. you know, and I'm sure a lot of the people from the feedback and the reactions we got, a lot of people learned a lot. And I know many people watch this much later. And so we just want to say thank you so much for honoring this invitation. We really appreciate it. That we'll do more in the future together.
Yeah. And to everyone who's joined us today, would like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed, and turn on your notification bell. There's someone else saying thank you to you, ma'am. Thank you. Glad to let you know your coaching has really helped me at work.
Fantastic.
For the first time after a very long time, I have a mentor and a sponsor at work. Okay, so it's made a lot of difference to her life. Thank you for just pouring out consistently. We appreciate you. And thank you everyone who's joined us. Until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
Goodbye from us. Bye.
Bye everyone.